Welcome to the Castle Connection for this special edition during the week of November 18th. I'm joined by Mr. Sheehan, our superintendent. I'm Jarod, Claybourn, your principal. Today we're going to focus on some of the process for this week at Sterling High School as we manage and develop and stay united in our support for the Scully family and Mr. Bill Scully. So Mr. Sheehan, if you could help me, Bill was a almost two-decade member of our Sterling community, but beyond that, he was actively involved in our community.
Yeah, so Mr. Scully's been at Sterling High School for 16 years. Prior to Sterling, he was at Lindenwold School District, employed there. While at Sterling, obviously in our guidance department, Bill coached a couple sports. He was involved in our soccer program. Recently, head coach of both boys and girls volleyball. But his impact outside of Sterling, I think people are just overwhelmed with how involved this guy was. So Bill was involved in a couple youth soccer clubs, Tark Hill for one and Deptford for another. He's involved in his church community, Special Olympics. He was a 20-year veteran of the Army National Guard. Bill just did it all. So, there's a lot of people feeling the impact of a loss of Bill Scully. So, can't say enough about what he's meant to Sterling High School, the interactions he had. I don't think you'll find someone who say a bad thing about Bill, but always willing to help, always willing to lend a hand, and always visible. I just think back to our Veterans Breakfast just last week, proudly there with his father and other veterans from our community. So.
The Scully family have been involved in the community for a long time. Mrs. Scully is a teacher at Audubon and was been on the Board of Education at Stratford. The Scully children all come through Sterling High School and are proud members of our Sterling family. Ryan is a senior, and we are certainly surrounding him with love and support as well. So, Mr. Sheehan, if you could help us the process, how we've been able to manage this as a school community a little bit. We get the news, and then we have to put in action supports for not just their family, but our staff and our students.
Yeah, Mr. Claybourn and I spoke early when we found out, and you go right into action. There's a crisis team that we have, and there's kind of a procedural plan that you go through, and a lot of it you're making it up as you go along too. What are the needs that we have immediately of our staff and students? And if you recall, we had a delayed opening to allow our staff to deal with their thoughts and their feelings, and then we brought our students in, and we just had a tremendous amount of support from our sending schools, Stratford, Summerdale, Magnolia in particular, but also other schools throughout Camden County and other resources in terms of crisis that just made themselves available to our staff and students. So that was our process, and I have to give Mr. Claybourn so much credit for his leadership during this time. His staff did a great job. The guidance department just organizing every day keeping the staff informed. Hey, this is what we've done today. Tomorrow we're looking to do this. So I imagine this will continue for some time, and we'll continue to provide for our students as we recover and we heal from our loss here.
Yes. So it's been a tremendous team effort. We do have that crisis manual that Mr. Sheehan talked about that we kind of go through, but we make sure it's personalized for what the needs are right now. And so some of the next steps that I wanted to make sure we communicate with, so we're continuing to provide support, both targeted and as needed during the school day. Monday, because our entire counseling staff is impacted, we're going to have outside counselors again here Monday to make sure that they can support our students and staff. So I want to talk about the weekend. So services we have on Sunday is the visitation. That is our primary visitation that we want to encourage our Sterling community to show up in and to wear your silver and blue, wear your volleyball gear, your United gear. That's from 5 to 9, and I know that we will all gather together and show the support for the Scully family. And then the service on Monday, our message to the students, is very clear that service Monday is small, that it's reserved for family, close friends, maybe close members of the volleyball team, and that the majority of our students will likely choose to go on Sunday night at that nice visitation ceremony. Students that actually might attend though on Monday, they can come to school, they can leave to go to that service, and then we encourage them to stay with family and friends the remainder of the day on Monday. The other piece of information I just want you to have, so if you have an immediate need related to guidance in the counseling that you reach out to Mrs. Considine, specifically if like you have a 504 need that needs to go into place. In the interim right now, please reach out to Mrs. Robin Considine, our Director of Secondary Education, and she will make sure that you are taken care of. Mr. Sheehan, I just wanted to go take a little bit of time to talk about the thank yous. Again, the support team has been phenomenal. So, you know, one of the things we do first thing is you text all the superintendents locally. I text the principals, and immediately we had some people here. So somebody else sent over 2 guidance counselors. And for our students and parents, I want you to know these people: Amanda Schwartz, Regina Valinsky, Magnolia sent over Jamie DeVecchis, Leslie Turnbull, Stratford Loretta, Kajada, excuse me, I'm not saying that correctly. We had the Black Horse Pike Regional School District really jumped up. Mr. John Barnett, DJ Gore, Carrie Spizzali, and Nicole Hull, just wonderful support and leadership as they came to, because again, I want you to know that our counseling team needed support in this time as well. We partnered right away with the County Traumatic Loss Coalition, which is a great thing. They kind of pre-plan, and there's members of different school districts who kind of volunteer as counselors to participate in that. They sent people. The Tri-State Canine Response Team was pretty awesome, and brought over the dogs as well. The Thrive Network, Lorenzo McFadden, has been great. So,
and I could just point out, you know, some people didn't think that their contribution was significant, but having Mr. Paul Sorrentino here, manning the cafeteria for a couple hours, it was nothing to him, but it meant the world to us.
Oh my goodness.
And even Mrs. McPherson showing up for a few hours, just giving that support, that shoulder to lean on. Can't say enough about it. So we appreciate everybody reaching out and you know, giving us their thoughts and concerns and prayers for Sterling, the Scully family, and our community.
Yep, thank you, and thank you to Stratford sending over the goodies. Mrs. Bogan, of course, sending over goodies for our staff. And then if you've been online, social media has been a buzz, and it's all about you, our Sterling community, and staying united. So thank you to them. Please continue. We must continue to be united and together in this process. So that's the final message for you. May God bless the Scully families and each of you as you deal with this, and let's do it together, united.